Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tanvi, and we at Kotak Securities welcome you to our today's session on trading strategy using relative price theory. This will be followed by a question and answer round by the end of the session. So, now, without any further delay, let me introduce you to our speaker of the evening, Mr. Vivek Bajaj. Mr. Vivek Bajaj is a founder for Credent Info Edge Private Limited. We welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Okay, so I'm mute. Yeah, I'm mute. Good evening, everyone. I'm very glad to be there live in platform of Kotak Securities, and I'm talking to people who are part of this Kotak Securities umbrella. Very, very happy to be conducting this session live in multiple social media platform. If you don't know me, my name is Vivek Bajaj, and I've been part of financial market for over 15 years now. I'm the co-founder of Elon Markets and Stockage, and fairly reasonable understanding of what goes on into the market. I've been following a science called relative strength science, which I've been very vocal about and talking to everyone about the same. I think for a retail investor or trader, this is one science in whatever form you want to use it. But the conceptually, this science is extremely, extremely powerful. Considering the given scenario of too much noise and information around us, it's very important for us to create our own framework, our own model. And I've been a follower of relative strength for some time now and a big beneficiary of this model. So I'm going to share with you the thought process behind relative strength theory. Now, in the process of sharing the thought process, I'm also going to share with you the strategy which I'm following. Do not consider that strategy to be the perfect strategy. I'm sure that if you understand the theory behind it, you will be able to develop a much better strategy than what I'm doing. So consider it to be a knowledge worth taking to develop your own framework on market. It could be for your trading need or it could be for your investing need. So I'm going to use my presentation to take you through a couple of things, and we will also share, we'll also talk about few stocks and see how the model has worked in these stocks. And happy to answer a few questions towards the end so that you have more clarity on what I'm talking about. The same theory, the concept I have discussed in multiple forums, including my personal YouTube channel. So people who want to learn this science in Hindi could go to my YouTube channel and understand how it works. I'm happy to share this in English language today. So the presentation topic is trading strategy using relative price theory. Before I go into this presentation, I have to inform you that this gentleman, he came into my dreams one day, and we started discussing about a lot of things. Although physics was not one of my favorite subjects, but suddenly he realized that I should discuss physics with him, and he was discussing a lot of concepts which he has designed, he has evolved. And the more I was discussing with him, I understood the power of physics in our normal life. During our school days, we have been taught so many subjects, and we always question the relevance of these subjects in our practical life. But after interacting with him, I was able to understand the clear relevance of his theories which he has evolved. One of the theory which he established, and very famous theory, is the theory of relativity. Now, in a very simple crux of the matter is that what he said, that you cannot measure everything on a standalone parameter. There has to be some relative parameter which you should use to measure anything. Now that instantly struck me that what a beautiful thought. And then I started working on the relative strength theory. I read a lot of books, global books. I was able to interact with a lot of practitioners in India who are using relative strength theory. And after doing fair bit of homework and my own analysis, I started developing my own model. And I arrived at my model, which is so far working good for me. I don't know about the future. Obviously, the model has to evolve and I have to adapt to new market practices. But at least so far, the model is working. But the primary hypothesis of relative strength, that everything has to be measured vis-a-vis the other relative thing. You cannot really say that a standalone thing has any form. For example, when we were in our school or college or our professional exams, always we used to compare ourselves with the topper of the batch or the best performer of the batch. The concept of percentile got evolved from there, that out of how many people you are among the better lot. So relativity is the most important concept in stock market globally. And if you have not yet learned about it, please go and practice this theory, devolve your model so that you can become a better market participant. Now, when we talk about relativity from a stock market perspective, so I have divided this relativity in three forms: time relativity, expectation relativity, and risk relativity. What do I mean by that? Time relativity is the standard technical chart which we all follow, where there is price and there is time. So when we say that the stock is outperforming or the stock has buying momentum, that means we are saying that historically or with respect to immediate price action of that stock, the stock is going up or the stock is going down. So time is the most important parameter when you are looking at standalone price movement. Okay. Second is expectation. All of us are so unique in the way we look at market. Imagine what a beautiful market this is, where every one of us is here for only one purpose: to make money. Do you know anyone in the market who has come here to lose money? At least not with the objective. Finally, a lot of people end up losing money, but the final objective is always to make money from the market. Now, if you ask anyone what is their expectation from the market, people will have their own varied answers. Some will say 29%, some will say 28, and if you allow people to give decimals, then people will say 29.01, some will say 39.84, etc., etc. So the expectation level is so different. So relativity of your expectation defines the relativity of your market participation, isn't it? The third is the risk weightage. So finally, your expectation is the function of various things. Obviously, your family background, your capital base, your disposable capital, your risk capital, etc., etc. That defines your expectation. So risk weightage is important relative measure as well. Most of the things can be measured in quantitative terms. Expectation can be quantified, risk can be quantified, and obviously time can also be quantified. That if a stock goes from here to here within this time framework, then I think I should act on that stock, otherwise I will not act. So for the simplicity of understanding, we all have learned about technical analysis and we know how it works. The most common form of technical analysis is the swing trading. And Dow theory, which was written more than 100 years ago, it talked about swing trading. It said that price always moves in a swing. There could be micro swings, mini swings, there could be macro swings. Finally, macro swings is the accumulation of multiple micro swings. So a swing is basically stock makes the bottom, then makes the top, corrects, and again makes a new bottom. If it's an uptrend, the low made next time should be higher than the previous low, and the high made next time must be higher than the previous high. So higher highs is the upswing and lower lows is the downswing. That's pretty much the most standard technical analysis knowledge you need to start your journey in market. So when we talk about this whole explanation, as I have said earlier, there is a time which defines the time taken by the swing, and there is a price action which defines that what is the intensity of the swing. कि कितनी जोर से जा रहा है. Is it going very very harsh or is it going slow? That really defines the expected return also. All right. So let's go to the next slide. Okay. When we are defining the relativity, always consider that when we are saying that how am I performing in my class, I always compare myself with the topper of the batch. कि मेरे section में who is the topper? If the topper has done X and if I am just point 0.1 below X, I'm good. Okay, I'm one of the good guys. Okay, so that's like defining your performance based on the benchmark. And India, the benchmark for all practical purposes Nifty, because Nifty is the most traded instrument, is the most efficient instrument. So the most efficient instrument should always be considered as a benchmark. Okay. The second could be benchmark like related instrument. So I may not consider the topper to be my benchmark because the topper has been topper. So how can I compare myself with the topper? I'll compare myself with my friends. So out of the close group of 5 6 friends, if I am the good performer and other ones have not done good, I feel the sense of satisfaction. If among the close friends, if one of my friend does better, I always feel very, even though the topper could have done much better, but अगर मेरे दोस्तों में अगर मैं सबसे अच्छा कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगता है. That's how we have all lived our school days, isn't it? So relative instrument is when you are comparing your performance with the related instrument. Okay. And the third is unrelated. This is like if I'm in class 9, I'm comparing myself with the topper of class 7. Well, you can't do that because the classes are different, the intensity of education is different, so you can't do that. So, when we are talking about relativity, we as market participants, we are always talking about relativity with respect to benchmark, which is Nifty. All right. You can go to the next layer of relativity, which is related instruments, could be sector indices, which are reflection of the related indices. But first Nifty, then sector indices, and third nothing. Okay, only first and second. Third, there is no question of comparing with unrelated instruments. Okay. When we talk about relative measurement, can there be a science which can help us to do that relative measurement? Yes, there is a science. Uh, Two science which I want to discuss with you guys today. Uh, I've discussed this in multiple forum as I've said earlier, but for the sake of people who have not attended my session earlier, two technical indicators. Although I'm not a big fan of technical indicators, I think price is the most important parameter one should follow. But for the sake of guidance, I call these indicators Pujari. Price is God, and these indicators are Pujari. So to reach God, at times the Pujari has to be taken care of. So relative strength index is one indicator which is commonly followed, and you should also look at it. And relative strength is the other indicator. Both are different, and I'll show you how you can look at both of them. All right. So this is interesting analogy where I'm saying that ultimately market is a race, ये दौड़ है, and our role is to figure out the best car or the best horse, and our money should be put on the best car, right? Um, Especially if you are a trader. If you are an investor, the definition of the best changes. But if you are a trader, the definition of best will be different. And if you can merge both, and if there is the same stock which is both good in terms of investment and in terms of trading, then it's like a double bonus, right? So what is it all about? So relative strength indicator, not the index, indicator is basically measuring the distance between two cars. Okay, I mean a very simple language I'm saying. So what I'm saying is key, if a car which is turning out to be first and there is a car which is second, uh, what is the difference between these two cars in terms of speed, in terms of momentum, and whether the gap between these two cars is getting reduced? If the gap is getting reduced, that means the probability that the first car will not win is becoming low, right? So for someone who wants to put money in the best car will obviously put money only in the car if the probability of this car remaining the leader is higher than the probability of the car not remaining the leader. All right. So relative strength is relative performance of car number one vis-a-vis car number two. For the sake of simplicity, car number two is Nifty. As I've said, we always compare ourselves with the benchmark. So let Nifty be called the car number two. Okay. The second indicator is, okay, how do you calculate this relative strength? The formula is given by me, very simple formula. The price of any stock today uh, divided by the price of that stock before few days. So today before few days, so it could be any day. Like I take 55, you can take 60, someone can take 65. Some people may take 123. We have a very good friend, Prabal Parekh. He's also an RS practitioner. You should also follow him on his Twitter handle. So he takes 123 as a static RS. Okay, so I take 55. So today price divided by price of that underlying 55 period ago, divided by price of Nifty divided by price of Nifty same 55 period ago, minus 1. So what is it trying to do? It is trying to see the return generated by that underlying vis-a-vis Nifty over a period of 55 period. All right. This is very simple formula. No complications. Uh, the second thing is relative strength index. What is relative strength index? So, in the same example of car race, so the distance between the two cars is basically the relative strength. But whether the car in the first has enough speed so that the momentum is good enough to not get defeated. So, relative strength index is an index which takes into account the price movement of that car itself or that stock itself over a period of last 14 period to figure out whether the speedometer of the car is suggesting that the car is at a reasonable momentum. Got my point? Relative strength is vis-a-vis. Relative strength is momentum shown by that particular car. All right. So let's do a lot of practical discussions. I mean, I hope the concept is clear that how do you measure? I mean, RSI measurement is very simple. You go to internet or most of the trading softwares or charting softwares have RSI inbuilt. The formula is very simple. The price of the underlying vis-a-vis the previous periods is something which defines the RSI. Okay, so let's do some practical discussions. We're going to use two utilities. TradingView, which is fantastic charting platform. So all the serious stock market practitioners should use TradingView or use the charting template provided by Kotak Securities in their trading terminal. And Stockage, which I love because I created it. So these are the two platforms which should be part of your journey in stock market if you are serious about making money from stock market. So let's go to some practical discussion. So uh, let's do something. Let me help you design your framework of relative strength using TradingView. Okay. So first thing first, I will go to TradingView. Okay. So I have two utilities. One is Stockage right here through web.stockage.com. So you have to have this utility, and the second is TradingView, as I have mentioned to you. When you go to TradingView, just go to chart. Unfortunately, my template is right here. So what I need to do is I need to create a new layout for you for ease of explanation. Okay. So this is what you get once you go into TradingView. So friends who have not used TradingView earlier, this is a brilliant demo of TradingView software. So please pay attention. You're going to like this demo as well, right? So this is the chart of TradingView. When you first visit TradingView, you will see the chart like this. A small thing you can do, this volume, just select volume, right click, okay, right click, and make it part of a new panel below. Why? Because it makes life slightly easier. Otherwise, the volume gets overlaid on the price, which at times makes it difficult for navigation purpose. Okay. So this is first thing I want you to do. Second thing I want you to do is insert indicators. Okay. Two indicators which I want you to insert. Remember Pujari, दो पुजारी को आपको सिस्टम के अंदर में डालना है. तो how do you insert indicator? You see there is an indicator here. Click and you will see you can search for indicators here. I hope my screen is visible. I hope my screen is visible. Should I zoom in further or no? I think I'll settle here. Okay, yeah, thanks. Maybe we can show full screen for the time being. Yeah, thank you. So, okay, coming back. So let's go to indicator and search for an indicator called relative strength. So once you search for this indicator relative strength, you see there a building index indicator called relative strength index, which is the standard relative strength index. And the other, I used to use the relative strength developed by Mr. Madhilius, uh, but I'm very fortunate that one of our RS warrior friends, Mr. Bharat Trader, he has created a prototype of exactly what we want. So you go and select this. Okay, the moment you select this, you will get an indicator like this. Just go to these settings, and couple of things which I want you to do is show a reference label you can remove, and the period, which is 123, which I mentioned that our friend Paramal Parekh, he uses 123, but I am keeping it slightly 55ish. Matlab I want to make it closer. So you just say okay. So how, what is it showing? It is showing that there is a zero line here, zero line, and stop. RS goes above zero, it becomes green, and RS goes below zero, it becomes red. All right. The thought process of this is very simple, that if a stock is strong, RS will be in green, and if a stock is weak, RS will be in red. There are some people have different way of looking at RS. For example, one of our friends, Amit, I recorded a face to face with Amit. He has a different model called relative strength, which is this guy, Maverick Amit. So you can just select his. So what his model is, dividing the stock price with Nifty. So whatever is the stock price. So let's take an example of a stock. Let's take any example of a stock. Let's say Sobha, okay, which has really run up well in last few days. So you see, this is Sobha price divided by Nifty. Okay, very simple indicator which our friend Amit has developed. Sobha divided by Nifty, and this is RS which I told you. Okay, both more or less if you see the movement is pretty much the same. So you can use that. This I am using RS 55 by Bharat Trader, so I'm removing it for the time being. All right. The second indicator which I want you guys to introduce is relative uh, strength. I'm sorry. Relative strength index. All right. So let's go to index. RSI is pretty much the same RSI which all of us are used to seeing. Just change the setting. I'm interested in 14 period, which is okay. I mean, the guy who developed this RSI, he kept 14 for a reason, right? And I don't believe in tingling around with the reason, so let's keep it 14. And what I'm saying is, let's keep 50 as a benchmark. तो अगर 50 के ऊपर में गाड़ी चल रही है, इसका मतलब स्पीड तो रीजनेबल है. एटलीस्ट इन सिटी 50 is a reasonable speed, especially if you are driving in Calcutta. 50 के ऊपर मौका नहीं मिलता except you are driving in Marbridge. And so 50 and above is good, and RS 0 and above is good. All right. Now, what is the model? The my model is, this is a daily chart. Okay, so daily chart is good for swing trading between 2 days to probably 30 days to 40-45 days. And the moment you want to trade beyond that, beyond 45 days, beyond 60 days and more, then you have to look at the weekly chart. And if you want to do short swings, which is for a period of say 2 days to 7 days or 10 days, then you have to look at 2 hourly chart. Why 2 hourly chart? Because the whole market is divided into three blocks. Okay, may I request my face to be there on the screen? Yeah, thanks. So what I was talking about is, uh, you see, market is divided into three blocks per day: morning, afternoon, and evening, and all three blocks are approximately 2 hours. So I have seen with my experience of market that 2 hourly candle breakouts are very powerful breakouts, because it's very difficult for an operator to manipulate such a long duration candles. If you do a 5 minute, 15 minutes candle checkout, then your number of trades will increase, and your false breakouts and other things will happen frequently. So for longer swing traders, daily chart is fine. For shorter swing traders, probably 2 hourly chart is okay. All right. So this is my template now I have designed. Now, so there are two kind of people in market: strong heart and weak heart. Strong heart develops strong conviction because they are okay to take more risk because they want to target bigger return. And and weak hearts are people who get worried whenever price reacts not as per what they were planning. But we have to take care of both of them because our heart is heart, be it strong or weak. We have to take care of our heart. So what I have, what I suggest to people that identify stocks which are strong, and if you want to lead a big rally in that stock, you have to have a strength. We have to have a strong, and strength and strong is reflection of price action, volume traded, delivery if possible, and obviously the price strength in a stock. Let's take the example of Shobha. Now, Shobha, RS greater than zero happened when this candle was created. Okay, this candle. And this candle was created when previous swing high was broken. For the sake of ease, let me convert this candle into line. What is the advantage of converting into line? Then you look at the price on a closing basis. Why it is important to look at closing basis? Because for me closing is important. पूरे दिन भर में क्या ऊपर नीचे हुआ, how does it matter? मेन इज कि लास्ट में घर पे क्लोज क्या हुआ है, because the closing price is X. That's why someone has taken the position at home, right? And if someone is taking position because he or she has seen the closing price, closing becomes a very important price for me. All right. So you see, uh, the stock is behaving in a particular swing, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, which is very natural swing. And I discussed that if the stock swing is making higher high, that means the stock is in the uptrend. Okay, so आप देखो यहाँ पे, let's draw simple trend lines. Okay, you see simple trend lines, at times we try to make it complex, but if you see simple trend lines, it is every swing it is trying to make a higher highs and higher lows. That means the stock has been in uptrend for some time, right? Now, if you see the stock is outperforming the market, it is underperforming for some time, then started outperforming the market, then underperforming, then outperforming, then underperforming. Obviously, a stock which is high volatile, high beta, will always show this kind of an activity. Okay, and a stock with a lower beta will show a consistent outperformance in the market. So Shobha or real estate stocks are typically, or public sector banks, these are typically stocks which are highly volatile. Their range of high and low, especially the weekly high and low, is very wild because there is a high level of speculation in these stocks. But stocks where there are more buyers, there is a consistent buying going on. For example, stocks like say CDSL, where there was a consistent buying going on for a long period of time. There you will not see regular underperformance and outperformance. You will see underperformance for some time and outperformance for a long period of time. All of us as retail, we should aspire to find out stocks where outperformance will continue for a long period of time, and they should not be volatile because every volatility adds a fair bit of chance of heart attack. So we should avoid too much of volatility stocks in our portfolio. Now let's go back to Shobha. So, what does relative strength theory, which I follow, says is every stock makes some kind of a swing actions, and simple lines like this will tell you the swings, high or low, right? So, my model says that if a stock RS is going above zero, and there is a breakout happening from previous swing high, that is a good time to enter the stock. Okay, again, there are two theories here. One is I will wait for RS to become greater than zero, then I will enter. The other theory is that if RS is showing me uptrend, okay, and the stock is also showing me breakout trend, then I can make an attempt. For example, here RS is showing me uptrend, RSI is also gone above 50, and stock is also giving breakout. So this could be a good price for me to enter. Or you can wait for RS to go above zero, but since the price is already trading above previous swing high, this could be a good price point to enter the stock. All right. Now, how do I deal with these stocks? Till RS is more than zero, that means the stock is outperforming the market. And there should not be any worry or area of concern because the stock is outperforming. So every time the stock comes down, you have an opportunity to buy the stock. Why? Because the stock is outperforming. And the stock, when fall, is not with lot of volume. So you see, every time this stock was going up was with volume, but every time the stock was coming down, the volume was not as great as it was when the stock was going up. So if the stock is coming down with less volume and the stock still is a strong stock because RS is above zero and RSI is above 50, that means the momentum is still there. That is a time when you have to play a contrarian view on this stock and buy as a retracement candidate. Or you can wait for a breakout to happen again with good volume and with RS above zero and participate in the breakout. So two models. One, retracement, कब बाई करना है? डिमांड जोन के पास में. क्यों बाई करना है? स्टॉक अभी भी स्ट्रांग है. Chances क्या है? High. क्यों? Because volume is there when it is going up. When it is coming down, volume is not there. That means not many people are participating in the stock falling down. The other model is breakouts. Ki wait for the previous swing high to break, and if RS is also strong, RSI is also above 50, there is a chance of playing a quick breakout trade in these stocks. Now let me come back to the point which I mentioned is कि कमजोर दिल वालों के लिए क्या. तो ये तो हो गया जो स्ट्रॉन्ग हार्ट वाले हैं, जिनको स्टॉक में लॉस आ रहा है तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है बिकॉज दे आर कन्विंस्ड दैट दिस स्टॉक इज अ स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टॉक. And probably these people also know the underlying theme behind this stock. For example, Shobha, the underlying theme is real estate boom, the residential real estate, particularly in the Bangalore area, where, I mean, look at the kind of wealth startup employees are generating in Bangalore, and ultimately all of them want to buy some house, and Shobha could be a big beneficiary of that whole story, startup growth story. So real estate is in boom, residential has demand, so that Shobha is also doing good. So if you have a theme, and Kotak Securities is known for identifying themes early. So if you know the theme and if you know the chart also suggesting that yes, the stock performance is also showing strength, then you're not worried. Then you are chill. But if you are weak heart and if you want a faster exit or faster strategy to trade, then you have to adopt a mother-daughter strategy. I call it mother-daughter. Look at the mother, take a view from her, and then trade based on the indication from daughter. So how do you do that? You introduce one more window here. Obviously, to do that, you have to take a premium version of TradingView, because if you have to do both, then TradingView doesn't allow you with a free version. So nonetheless, I'm going to talk about it. So it's up to you whether you want to take it or not. So let me synchronize symbol and let me synchronize time and my horizon. This will be 2 hourly chart. Okay. So what is my rationale here? My rationale here is I'm going to look at daily chart to see the broader trend. And if my short-term trend from the 2 hourly chart is showing me correction, then I will probably book, maybe book 50%, maybe book 100%, and I will re-enter once the trend starts resuming again. Now you remember I am using this word trend again and again. How to identify trend? See, one way to identify trend is higher highs and higher lows. The other way to identify trend is insert an indicator called super trend. Super trend is Zabardast indicator, very simple indicator. It helps you to figure out what is happening in the trend. So you see super trend indicator on the 2 hourly chart is suggesting us a buy, it's a green, and RS is also above zero. That means on 2 hourly basis also the stock is strong and RSI is also more than 50. You can consider 2 hourly RSI, or you may not consider, because for us daily RSI is important. So actually you can remove this, because RS is good enough for us to take a decision with super trend. सो दिस इज द टेम्पलेट नाउ, डेली 2 hourly. ये बीच में कलर ऐसे क्यों आ रहे हैं? बिकॉज वी हैव टू go to setting, extended hours, just remove this. Okay, and here you are. So how will I deal with any stock idea which I get? Any stock idea which I get from anyone, how will I deal with it? So there are two ways to look at things. One is I define my universe of stocks where I want to trade. 10 स्टॉक, 20, 25, 30, 50 स्टॉक, these are the stocks which basically I want to trade actively. And because I'm tracking those stocks minutely, I know their behavior, their activity, how they act, and it's easier for me to comprehend and get conviction on those stock movements. The other thing is that I'll scan every day, and whichever stock has higher propensity to show momentum, I'll participate in this stock. So, what kind of trader you want to become? Typically, investors, they will restrict the universe, but what kind of trader you want to become? Do you want to become a selected universe trader, or you want to become a kind of an open field trader? It's totally up to you. There's nothing right or nothing wrong. It's totally dependent upon your skill set and your psychology. How much pressure, how much engagement you want to have with the market, right? Let's assume that you are a focused trader and you just want to focus on stocks which you are tracking. Okay. So what I've done is, I have created multiple watch list here. Some of the stocks, like my stocks, where I'm more or less looking at few specific stocks whose business model I understand, whose actions I can comprehend, or I can look at Nifty 50, or I can look at Nifty 200, whatever you feel comfortable. You can look at those stocks. Uh, let's take example of sector indices. So what I've done, I've created a watch list where I have added all the sector indices and their stocks, so that I can find out what is happening in these sectors and which stock out of these sectors has potential to give me aggressive move out of the list of stocks I have. Okay, let us go through few, like Nifty Private Bank. Now, what is happening? Nifty Private Bank, if you see, it's an underperformer vis-a-vis the broader market. Okay, and if you see on a 2 hourly basis, it is still an underperformer. So possibly of this giving a massive movement is relatively less, until there is a massive short covering happening. So if I am willing to put my money right now, I will probably not put my money on private banks, because there is something which is inside this private bank which probably I don't know if there is anything which I should know. Let's look at PSU banks. So PSU banks have also become underperformers. So the entire finance block is underperforming the market, which is definitely our area of concern. So we will not deploy or put our money in these banks. Real estate. So real estate has been an outperformer. It corrected, unfortunately. At times it does happen that the index doesn't behave exactly the way you want it to behave, but it has started outperforming. So yes, this is one sector where index is suggesting that there is outperformance. And here I will look at stocks. I can look at 2 hourly chart, and based on breakout or retracement, I would like to participate in real estate stocks. Why? Because I feel that the sector is outperforming. So possibly the outperforming stocks, which is showing strength and momentum, can also outperform it in the longer to shorter time horizon. Pharma stocks. Okay, let's see the pharma sector. So what I've done is I have penned down the major sector indices and the stocks. I've created a trading view watch list, and my role is to continuously look at them, and whichever stock I feel that there is an opportunity based on this limited universe of stocks which I want to play, I focus on only those stocks. The other way to look at is to go to stockage. Now in stockage, we have multiple scans which has potential to give you great stock ideas where momentum can come. And obviously you have to identify scanners where you can measure the momentum. Okay. If you go through these scans, you will be able to see a lot of these scans where you can identify stocks. But you know what I love to do is I create combination scans. And these combination scans which I've created for myself, you can create for yourself, where you can add all of these scans, maximum 10 you can add right now, and you can experiment with these scans that tell me the stocks where there is high delivery happening, 52-week high, outperforming market, quarterly net profit growth is high, high increase in quarterly sales, etc., etc. Then you get the list of stocks. Right now there is no perfect match, but there are almost there stocks. So these are the stocks which are fundamentally good and outperforming the market. So these are the stocks one should look at, and if you scan every day, you will definitely get the list of stocks where there is high momentum. One of the strategy which there is a strategy section in stockage where we are developing strategies. So you go to eagle strategy, which is one of the strategy which I've been using for long, and you see these are the stocks where there is a very high momentum running, and these are fundamentally good stocks. So typically if these stocks correct because of market corrections, typically these stocks will recover. So you can go to these stocks, go to edge chart, which is again a utility inside stockage itself, where you can insert uh, relative strength indicator, RSI, etc. How do you insert it? Just add the relevant one. You can add up to 8. You just insert, and for your quick view you can see that yes, this stock looks interesting because the stock is outperforming, fair bit of delivery activity is happening in these stocks, right? And it is an outperforming stock, so chances that this stock will retrace from these levels and go up is high till the momentum is intact, right? So obviously to create your own combo, or to become part of this strategy, you will have to subscribe to stockage. So happy to help you if you want any kind of subscription information, or very soon we will have some collaboration with Kotak Securities, where you will be able to get subscription as some kind of a early bird free, etc. So just stay tuned in this Twitter handle to get more information about the offer we will roll out very soon with Kotak Securities. Anyways, uh, let's go to the multiple things which we have already created. So sorry, uh, important thing which I forgot. So if you have created your own combo, and if you want to use those stock lists in TradingView to do your research, all you need to do is download this list in Excel, and you can import the stock list in TradingView. So once you import these symbols by adding comma, you can just import these symbols in TradingView. If you are doing analysis on TradingView, you can import these symbols on TradingView and then track only these stocks which are eagle stocks. Obviously eagle is not a friendly bird. Eagle is very dangerous, very, it's always going high and high. So for you to capture eagle is a very tough exercise, and that's where the beauty of momentum comes in, that if any of these stocks are showing sign of strength into hourly chart, and also on a daily basis they are strong stocks, possibly that these stocks will go up further is very high. So that's why staying in these stocks for playing momentum is such an important thing. Look at this example. Mindtree. Mindtree has been a strong and eagle stock since 1600 levels, and consistently the stock is going up. Although the RS went down a bit here, but again started going up. And since the RS became more than zero, since the levels around 1800, see the movement the stock has given, right? Now, what could be the reason of the stock giving movement? There could be fundamental reasons. The quarterly performance is good. Fundamentally, the company is doing good. The future outlook by the management is good. There are so many things which could be the trigger point. But price, which is the supreme indicator, has given us the hint right here. before we would have come knowledge, we would have gained the knowledge about the fundamental reason after some days. So I always say this to people that fundamental क्या हुआ, reason क्या, बाद में पता लगता है, price पहले बता देता है. So if you follow the strength of the price in real market, it is far more easier. uh, Realistically, it is far more easier for you to participate in the strong swing stock. And all we need to do is to figure out stocks where there is a buildup of momentum. For example, look at this stock, ICICI Securities. Okay, technically a competitor of Kotak, so I don't want to talk much about them. But as far as stock price is concerned, strong stock, still green, 2 hourly chart showing strength, super trend is positive, ready for a breakout. So ideally, this stock should do good after the breakout is confirmed, which is above 785, right? No recommendation, just sharing the study. It may not go up, so please do your own research. But I'm just giving you an example of how a stock can be identified with this model. Okay. Similarly, just do your study on these important stocks, eagle stocks, and maybe you will miss some stocks. Not necessarily that all the stocks will exactly behave the way we want it to behave, but on a broader level, most of the eagle stocks at some point of time, till they are eagle, they definitely show a very strong propensity to continue the momentum inside these stocks. So this is all about the model which we have developed. You can use stockage to do your analysis end of the day, or you can use trading view for more active engagement in the market. And if you use both, trust me, this is what you need for your good analysis on market and your control in the market in your own hand. Now I'll be taking few questions. We have 10 more minutes. Sorry, I've taken a lot of your time, extended my allotted time, but I'll be happy to take some questions. So let me go to the comment window. Okay. Kanhaiya is saying RS full form is relative strength. Gunjan Gautam is asking me that अपने trading platform पर भी work कर लो थोड़ा, market open होते ही crash हो जाता है. I think this is a feedback for Kotak. Do have a look at the feedback which Mr. Gunjan is giving. Okay. KS is how to get buy and sell signal while using super trend indicator. I'm using TV Trading View Pro Plus version. Well, just insert super trend. यहाँ से आप insert कर सकते हो super trend को. And pretty much green means buy signal and red means sell signal. You don't have to mention buy or sell. Red and green is itself a buy and sell signal. Kanhaiya is asking, there is no option to 2 hourly chart. 2 hourly chart is here, right here, Kanhaiya. So if you are using trading view, you can see 2 hourly chart here. Obviously, in trading in stockage, 2 hourly chart is not there. Why? Because stockage right now is an end of the day research platform. Best end of the day research platform for you. Intraday के लिए trading view is something which I always recommend. Okay, so okay, Manas is asking what is your desktop software? The desktop software, I'm not sure what question is this, but I guess the software which you are asking about is Stockage. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out few questions. Infosys example. Karthik is asking for Infosys. So let's take. So for people who are weak heart, Infosys short term has become weak. Okay, but for a long position holder, Infosys is still strong. So what I will do is I will definitely try to buy at a lower level once the reversal happens. I will wait for super trend to become positive, which it will become most likely above 1712. And RS, even if it starts giving me uptrend, I will be comfortable. So let the super trend become positive and RS give me uptrend, RS 2 hourly. Because RS daily is already green, it becomes a buy for me after super trend becomes positive. So you can assume it to happen after 1717. So I will only buy Infosys above 1717. Otherwise, I'll wait, let it go down further, because super trend beauty is that it will also go down with this. So अगर ये और नीचे गया और super trend भी नीचे गया और फिर reversal आया, तो maybe you will be able to buy at an earlier price than what you are thinking when super trend goes up. Pooja is saying top indicators you use for technical analysis. Well, the indicators which I use is right here. I'm using moving averages 21, 55, 100, and 200. This is more for my understanding of what is the trend of the stock, and then obviously relative strength and RSI. And on the 2 hourly chart, I'm using super trend and relative strength. But my most important indicator is प्राइस एंड वॉल्यूम. ये दोनों अगर एक भाषा में बात कर रहे हैं तो आर एस एंड आर एस आई कैन बी अ ग्रेट सपोर्ट यूटिलिटी फॉर द प्रोबेबल प्राइस एक्शन. Okay, still waiting for a few more questions. I'm looking at previous questions, but I can't see many questions. So I'm still waiting for previous questions. Okay, how to understand time frames? Good question, Pooja. So time frames is dependent on your target and your expectation. If you believe that you are very active in the market and you want to do quick 5% here and there movement, then obviously you can't look at 2 hourly chart. You can probably look at 15 minutes chart or 30 minutes chart, because 5% movement can be captured faster in a shorter time frame. But if you're looking to capture 15%, 20% movement, then 2 hourly chart becomes more relevant. Yeah, so it totally depends upon your time horizon, how much time you want that trade to be open, and depending upon that, how much target you want to keep for your profit or for your loss. How can volume be used for trading, Libra? Volume can be used for trading by getting confirmation, because price action will always tell you, will give you a hint, but volume will give you a confirmation. So, volume is like that prasad. So, when you go to mandir, you do puja of God, and that prasad is actually a confirmation that God has blessed you. How much volume is enough for stock to give big momentum? There cannot be one quantum of volume. Always relative volume has to be seen. So if you look at the volume graph, every time there is a breakout of volume, and if the breakout is significantly higher than the previous volume's average volume, then obviously it's a significant volume for you. And if the breakout happens and it stays there and more volume gets built up in follow on candle, that's like the best case scenario, that yes, serious players have entered the system. Abhishek is saying that shall we wait for retracement or should I enter after breakout? SRF, okay. I'm going to talk about stocks, but don't consider it to be my recommendation. Okay. So see, so these kind of stocks, the problem with these kind of stocks is you don't know whether they will retrace. So the best way to deal with these kind of stocks is start adding small quantity. So if you are thinking of investing 50,000 rupees in SRF, then start 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, because timing a particular price is next to impossible in stock market, especially in these kind of stocks which are already in hyper momentum zone. Please add RS indicator in our stockage app chart. Shikant, RS indicator is already there in stockage app chart. So if you go to chart and you select, you will see there is RS which you can add. Okay, so stockage edge chart pretty much covers the basics of charting. For quick chart analysis, one would need. And obviously for advanced charting, I always recommend TradingView. प्राइस को कैसे पढ़ के अप और डाउन. I suggest Kanaya, you can go to youtube.com/Vivek Bajaj, and you see I have recorded a series called Learn to Trade with Annapurna. I think this is the series which everyone should see if you want to become a trader. Uh, Pretty much everything which I knew about trading has been introduced in this series. I've already recorded 38 videos, and A to Z of trading, including options, I'm trying to cover here free of cost. So, in case you want this question to be answered, Kanaya, please do see all the videos, share with your family members, share with your friends, and get the power of trading in your own hand and learn the art of RS also with me free of cost. All right, so it's five. I hope it was worthy of your time. I hope you liked this session, and I hope Kotak team liked this session, and I'll get more opportunities to take more sessions for their team, for their clients. So, in case you like the session, do give us feedback and do mention in the Twitter handle and tag me in case you like the session.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for your insightful session. Thank you for being with us today. And yes, as you mentioned, we would like to have you again for another session. And I would also like to thank all the participants for their participation. Uh, do follow us on all our social handles. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great day. Bye.